parts. Let me hide this. Okay. Which are the fact that managers should know about information security. One of the most important facts that there is no 100% security at all, and you have not to be looking for 100% security. What's the global security outlook in 2024? The second part is about information security components, 5 major components forming the information security assets, risk, threats, vulnerability, and safeguards. I will redefine these 5 topics to have a common language, same language, and to be on the same page. And the management commitment to information security. What are the management commitment to information security? And finally, I will introduce you a toolkit called Ultimate Security to help you to do your commitment. Okay. Gene Stafford, as Director of Computer Operations, says the only system is truly secure, which is switched off, unplugged, locked in a titanium lined safe, buried in a concrete bunker, and is surrounded by nerve gas and very highly paid arms guards around. And even then, I wouldn't stake my life on it. So you are not looking for 100% security at all. But what's the global cybersecurity outlook in 2024? 90% of cyber leaders believe that cybersecurity, that inequity within the cybersecurity ecosystem requires urgent action. So, and 93% of them excelling in cybersecurity resilience, trust a CEO to speak externally about they believe that they need to excel in cybersecurity resilience, trust a CEO to speak externally about their cyber risks. The outlook in 2024 are these 3 major items. The cyber skills and talent shortage continues to widen at an alarming rate. Alignment between cyber and business is becoming more common, and cyber ecosystem risk is becoming more problematic. Sun Tzu, in his book, The Art of War, says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Therefore, you need to know your business and all the threats to it. So what I'm gonna tell you today is how to know your business and how to protect yourself against your enemies. But here are some questions. I want to make sure that you know your business and you know what's your security posture. This question asking you, what have you done for your most important asset information?
Sorry,
yes.
Nader.
Yes.
We are still seeing, I guess, the presentation roadmap slide. Is that the slide you're talking on right now?
Oh, yes, it's not. Go ahead. Not changing? Okay.
No. Maybe you want to maybe stop sharing and start sharing again.
Okay. Sorry. There's some problem, sorry.
Maybe you're hacked.
No, no, no,
The
no.
worst problem is when technical people have problems. That's um,
So here I have some question to ask you to make sure that you know what's your security posture. Can you measure the value of each of your assets according to your business point of view? Do you know how much your information worth and how much is your loss if your information being compromised? Are you sure that your information is secure and nobody has access to them? Have you defined the security objective in a smart way? And are your security objectives according to your business objectives? Have you developed your security strategy? Is your security strategy aligned with your business strategy? And the other question here. So if your answers to at least 4 or 5 questions here is negative, it means that you have a look your security posture again and to review your security posture. But what's the relation between business and security? Any business is formed to achieve some objectives and goals, which are your business objectives. It's in a strategic level. To be able to achieve those business objectives, you need to have to build some products or to offer some services. It's very obvious. For being able to make those products and being able to offer those services, you need to run some processes, main processes, management processes, or supportive processes. And these processes to be able to run need assets, and these assets are in risk. So here you can see the relation between risk, which is security, and the business, which is business objectives. So if you can manage the risk to your assets and asset being a normal and healthy condition, you can run your processes healthy. And if you run your processes in healthy condition, you can produce your products and services, and then you can achieve your business objectives. That's the relation between business and security in a layman language. But what are the main elements of information security? The most important element is assets. Asset is whatever valuable for you, and you are worried about it to be damaged or theft or whatever, and is not working well. I have categorized assets in these different categories. The first level is information, such as files, documents, and tapes. You can see here, we have two major types of information, digital information or paper documents, paper information. The next category is software. Any application, operating system, databases are in this category. Hardware, including servers, physical body of servers, I mean, computers, and office equipments like copier and printer and the others. Portable storages like external hard disk, CD, DVD, stick memory. And in infrastructure, we have LAN, internet, and cloud environment, and human resource assets, which could be personnel, suppliers, or consultants. Safe areas like data center, server rooms, and meeting rooms, and finally, intangible assets like patent and domain of your internet or something like that. So these are different categories of assets with a few examples for each one. Can you consider any kind of asset which is not included in this categorization? Okay, but these assets are in danger. The risk could impact your asset. But what is risk? Risk, in its academic definition, is the potential for harm or loss resulting from the occurrence of an event or the exposure to a particular hazard. In broader terms, risk encompasses the probability or likelihood of an adverse event happening and the magnitude of its consequences. But if I want to define risk in very simple words, it's a bad thing could happen to your assets. Any bad thing could happen to your assets, it's risk. Suppose, for example, you have home appliance in your home. So any of your appliance is one of your assets. And what bad things could happen to your asset? It could be theft or damage or I don't know, whatever. So these are risks to these assets. For our categories, for files, some kind of risk could be disclosure of content, unwanted change. For application, still data, disrupt operation. For server, hardware failure or unauthorized access. And for the others, as you can see here, I go a little bit faster because we are in time constraint. And the agent that caused that risk happened and impact the asset, we call it threat. Threat by definition, any potential danger or harm or evil that could exploit vulnerabilities in an organization system or networks leading to security breach or compromise of sensitive information. And in a very simple language, threat is the factor that make risk happen to asset. Some kind of threats are malware, staff, DDoS attack, coding problems, hacker incident threat, theft incident threat, and the others. For the appliance example, threat could be any people outside your home could be come inside and steal the appliances. So those guys are threats for the risk of theft for your home appliance as an asset. And these threats, for being able to make risk happen, they need to use the vulnerabilities or weakness in the assets. So threat exploit vulnerabilities, causes risk and impact asset. For our example, an open window, an open door could be a vulnerability for the risk of threat by that thief, which is it, for the risk of threat, for that risk threat, which is a thief. And finally, vulnerabilities, we have another item. Vulnerabilities are weaknesses in your assets that could make that threat misuse that weakness and make that risk happen. Here are some examples for vulnerabilities for different kind of IT assets. And finally, we use controls or safeguard or security solutions to control and removing those vulnerabilities to prevent that risk happens to the asset. So this is totally 5 major players in information security game. So if you notice 5 players, you know your threats and you know your enemy for your assets. Safeguards could be put in different categories. I have put them in 4 different categories. Preventive, those solutions that prevent any risk happen. Detective, those solutions that detects if any, for example, attack has happened. Reactive, reaction could be corrective or could be transferring to the others, whatever reaction you can show to manage the attack or risk is in this category reactive, and the other category is directive, which for example is like the policies and procedures you put to lower the risk. So we have 4 major categories for safeguards or security solutions. Here are some examples as well. Antivirus and anti-malware software are safeguards for malware. DDoS for DDoS attack, firewall or IDS for unauthorized access to servers, multi-factor authentications, and the other safeguards. And here is the relation between these main elements. Any questions so far?
All is good, Nanajan. And then I don't see any questions on
Okay.
the
Okay, good.
checks. If I see any questions, I'll let you know.
Okay,
But
perfect.
quite clear.
Here is a model I have defined for the point of attacks for all possible point of attacks. As I mentioned earlier, we have different kinds of assets, but here in this model, intangible and human resource assets are missed because they are everywhere in this model. You have safe areas like data centers, server rooms, and the others. Infrastructure like network, cloud, networks like LAN, WAN, SAN, cloud, telephony system, VoIP. And here are the points that attacks would happen to your assets directly from outside to your cloud or network, or from outside to your safe area. Somebody comes in illegally, and you can see there are 13 point of attacks possible for all kind of assets in your business. And here are there from outside to infrastructure, like DDoS attack to network, from outside to safe area, like unauthorized entry, from outside to hardware, like theft, from outside to storage, like physical damage, and the others. And how you can defend against these attacks. Here are some examples for each these attack points here is mentioned, but it's a very big and comprehensive databases I have provided for all types of assets, all types of threats, risk, vulnerabilities, and the solutions are I have gathered together in that big database that I'm using that in my toolkit I will show you later. Okay, here are some solutions, sample solutions for each point of attacks. For example, for outside to infrastructures, you can use intrusion detection system, outside to safe area CCTV, outside to hardware tracking system for hardware if they're theft, and the other kind of solutions. And what are the top cybersecurity trends in 2024? Here you can see the major trends for this year: ransomware surge, zero trust security, remote work security, AI and ML cybersecurity, cloud security challenges, IoT and OT security, which is for industrial systems, cybersecurity regulations, identity and access management, IAM, supply chain vulnerabilities, incident response and threat hunting, privacy and data protection, and AI-powered cyber threats, which is very dangerous and very serious.
Nader, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
The editing panel of your, I know you don't want a full screen because it might freeze again, but can you minimize this editing panel from the right hand of the panel? It may help with, if you go to the right hand side of
let me make it full screen again.
Okay, that will be even better.
You can zoom too.
Okay, it works this time.
It works? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, the next part is what are to hide this. To hide this. No problem. What are the commitments of manager based on the ISO 27001 latest version 2022? This standard in its latest version has this structure. Context of organization. As a manager, you need the context of your organization. You need to understand the organization and its context. Understanding the needs and expectation of interested parties. Just remember these words. They are very critical, and we will work with them later. Determine scope and information security management system. Information security management system should be implemented. Leadership. We have leadership and commitment for the policies, for the roles, responsibility, and authorities. And the managers are responsible for planning, action to address risk and opportunities, which means it's based on ISO 31000 standard for risk and opportunities. They are responsible for supporting for adequate resources for implementing ISMS, competencies level for security organization, awareness and training, system communication, collaboration, and documentation. And also in operation part, operation planning and control, information security risk assessment, information security risk treatment, performance evaluation, and which is audit and management review. We will look all of them if we have enough time. Okay, so if I want to sum up all this, we can reach to these items: leadership and advocacy, resource allocation, support and direction, communication and collaboration, information security strategy planning, policy development and enforcement, risk management, incident response and recovery, and compliance and audit. These are the major commitments of managers to information security. Let's go to each one separately. For the leadership and advocacy, top management should involve in establishing, maintaining, and improving the ISMS, and also to provide direction and support to align information security objectives with organizations' strategic goals. So it's very important to align information security objectives with organization strategic goal. But how? I will show you how. Promoting a security culture, prioritizing information security in your organization, and demonstrating its importance through the actions and communications. Resource allocation. Managers are responsible in investing in security. They should allocate sufficient resources, including budget, personnel, and maintain and improve the organization's security posture. But first of all, they need to know what's the current security posture and what should be the target. And I will show you how to define the target security objectives. Ensuring ongoing training and awareness programs for all employees, and also for support and direction, supporting roles and responsibility, clearly defining and communicating roles, responsibility, and authorities, and encouraging a culture of continuous improvement. For communication and collaboration, they need to ensure effective communication on information security policies, procedures, and expectation to both internal and external stakeholders, and also prepare all documents for ISMS. For information security strategic planning, they need to set objectives, which is again aligned with business objectives, and these objectives should be consistent with the information security policy and risk assessments. So according to result of risk assessment and information security policies, you can define your objectives. Again, remember this, I will show you how to define security objectives from risk assessment and security policy. And also information security structure development. You have to develop security structure in your business. It could be based on your organizational structure. And the monitoring and measuring and reviewing and improving security posture in a consistent way. Establishing policies and also ensuring compliance. For the risk management, risk assessment, and security threat and vulnerability hunting, and also implementing appropriate control and safeguards to mitigate, identify risks. For incident response and recovery, managers are responsible for developing and maintaining a robust incident response plan, and also to minimize impact and ensure a quick recovery. For compliance and audit, adhering to regulations, regular audits, monitoring and measurement, internal audits, and management review. Okay, what if managers don't commit to these commitments? Here, I want to show you some penalties for not fulfilling of these obligations. Violators of GDPR. GDPR is Global Data Protection Rule for European Union. If your business is working with European companies, or you have European companies customers, or you are in Europe, have offices in Europe, or anyway you have information from European people, if those information leakage, the violators may be fined up to 20 million euros or up to 4% of annual worldwide turnover of the preceding financial year, whichever is greater. So it's huge penalty. And also in Canada, we have PIPEDA, an organization that commit offenses may be subject to fines up to 100,000 Canadian dollars. So it's very serious. As a manager, you have a very serious responsibility for keeping information secret. I want to start showing this toolkit by two scenarios. First, the first scenario is security objectives definition. As Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice Adventures in Wonderland, says, if you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. And I dare to add this to the sentence, and if you don't know where you are standing now. So if you don't know where you are, and if you don't know where you want to go, any road is right road for you. But you should know where you are, what's your current security posture, and what's your target posture. Then you can define the roadmap and to implement it and to measure it and to assess it. For this purpose, you need indicators. For geographical location and for tripping, normal trip, your GPS locations are indicators to show you where you are, and the target position is where you want to go. But in information security, I have considered these major indicators: risk level, security maturity level, and compliance level. And for all these three indicators, you have to know what are the current values of each indicator, and you must be able to define the correct target value for each one. The other one is budgeting, but let me switch to the toolkit. Okay, here is the structure of this toolkit. Can you see it? Is it there?
We can see the folders.
Yes. These toolkits are in these folders. This toolkit is in 4 major stages, which are 4I: initiate, implement, intelligence, and improve. And there are 6 phases based on PPDIO model in these 4 stages. We are prepare, plan, design, implement, operate, and optimize. And these 6 phases are in 21 steps, which each step has some activities and sub-activities for each activity. So it's a very hierarchical and comprehensive model. I can say that this model is very comprehensive, and the advantages of this model that it's very comprehensive. You can do whatever you want and what you expect to do for information security with this model. And its disadvantages, again, it's very comprehensive. So maybe it's you don't need all of these parts of this model. But let's go through each part. The initiate part makes you ready for the implementation. So I can say that this model is with you from -A to Z++, which means 2 steps before starting and 2 steps after, not from A to Z, -A to Z++. In initiate stage, we have 2 phases, prepare and plan. In prepare phase, this system prepares you for the successful implementation of your ISMS projects. I dare to say that it's 100% guarantee for the successful implementation using this model. And I will show you why. And the second...
Turn the knob.
Sorry? Any question? Okay. In prepare, we have 4 steps out of 21: initiation, business cognition, asset inventory, and business process management. Here are before steps, those steps before the starting and implementation, which is only in this model. I have not seen any other model to bring with you 2 steps before implementation. In initiation, we have 2 major activities, which are primary assessment and preparation. And in primary assessment, we have 5 sub-activities. Let's start with security status. What's your security posture? What's one of the major questions and that you are responsible to answer that, if you remember? Here, there is a questionnaire with 710 questions in 26 different categories. So it assesses your security posture from different point of views, from strategic point of views, information security management and governance, to tactical security organization, information security policies and procedures. If you remember, all these are the main responsibilities of any manager: risk management, asset management, personal security, whatever, up to all the way to the configuration and change management. If you answer all these questions, for each question, there are these options. Either you don't know, or it's not applicable for you, or no. No is some kind of ad hoc. If you consider CMMI model, it's in the level 1 in the CMMI model. Planned, level 2. Documented, level 3. Implemented, level 4. And finally, optimized, level 5. And if we answer all this, if you answer all this, here shows you that it's completed. And if it's completed, you can to see the results. If I go to this maturity level, it shows maturity level, but I go to analysis. Here shows you, we answered only 11 questions out of 7 and 10, and only 1.5% is answered. So based on this answer, the maturity level total is level 1. It's obviously correct. Not applicable 0, don't know 1, no 1, plan 1, documented 1, implemented 1, and optimize 6. And here you can see overall from the quantity, and here from the percentage. And for each part, you can see the graph here. We answered only the this one. So you can see, based on the answers, the maturity number is 2.46, and the maturity is level 3. And for the others, because we haven't answered, obviously, this maturity number is 0, and it's in level 1. And based on the overall level, you see here, you can see some recommendation what you need to do if you are in level 1. These are your recommendations for you, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So here, with this part of this tool, you can find out what's your security posture, your current security posture, or where you are right now before doing anything. Okay. Suppose the security posture is not good and you need to improve your security posture. The second question here is, how urgent is that? Do I have time? I'm very busy. I don't have enough resources, and I have no budget for this year or whatever. And can I postpone this improvement plan? Here, this part of toolkit helps you to find out how urgent is that. Here are some rating values. You can change it. There are some recommended, and you can change it if you want based on your industry. Here is the questionnaire. The first questionnaire is, which category best describes your primary industry? For example, you are in construction. And for the construction, urgency is low, but consider we have not answered all the remaining questions. But suppose you are in finance and insurance, obviously it's very high. If you answer all these questions, here shows you the result. Here there is a gauge. If I answer all the questions, here you can see a gauge, which is from low urgency to very high urgency, and shows you in which level you are and how urgent you have to implement your security solutions and to improve your security posture. And what are your goals and necessity for the information security implementations? Here are some general goals, like enhance employee security awareness, or enhance mobile security device, or endpoint security, or whatever. I'm going to add some other security goals to this one, and here you can add your own if it's not here. Okay, and here in necessity, you can find out if it's necessary for you to do that or not. So far, you know what's your security posture, how urgent you have to improve that, or you need or not. Maybe your security posture is good and you don't need to improve that. And if you need to improve that, how urgent is that? What should be your goals and what makes you happy at the end of the day after implementing these projects. Consider information security is intangible, and maybe what business owners have in mind from a security project is totally different with what is implementer has in mind. So they should have a common language. I have gathered about 60 major problems that could happen during the implementations of cybersecurity in 6 different pillars. And, I try to make a common language between two parties before starting the project. Okay, you know your goals here, but what's the best boundary for your projects? Do you need to implement these projects in all your different departments, offices throughout the world? Suppose it's a project for a big holding with many offices in different cities and countries and a lot of different plans and whatever. So is it required to implement for all of them, or what's the best boundary for achieving those goals? Here, there is another question that helps you to define your boundary from business units. Here is using a Pareto. You can here name those products and services that makes 80% of your income. So if you improve and save those products and services and those processes related to these products and services, you can secure your business incidents by 80%. You can change this, but it's based on the Pareto. What's the best geographical domain for these projects? What are the safe areas? As you remember, we have different kinds of safe areas like laboratory, control rooms. Safe area is any physical building or location which its content is important for you. And what kind of information assets? We have different kinds of information assets here. There are a list of them. Human assets, information assets, sorry, human assets, hardware assets, software assets, and finally, what's the best boundary for you based on all of those? The boundary will come geographically and based on the geographical location and organizational units. Considering all these factors here and all these kind of assets. Okay, when I say this model is 100% guarantee successful of implementation, why? Because it assesses your readiness before starting the project. Here are my experience from the different projects and the reasons that could make them failure. In 6 different pillars from about 60 different reasons. One of the reasons is that the information is not ready. During the projects, you need some information. For example, inventory of assets or whatever, I don't know, security organization. What kind of, some kind of information you need from those business, and they don't have those documents. Or nobody is there to know that information, or there is no file or whatever. So lack of information is one of the major reasons of a failure of IT projects, especially information security projects. What's the level of culture and maturity in that business? How is the situation of processes? How is the commitment of management? Is the security organization best fits with that? And here you can see the results. Here shows you the result in percentage. If the percentage of success is less than 75, 80%, it's very risky to start these projects because in the middle of the projects, it maybe stops. Different causes may pause in your project, and it costs you because you have investment from people, different kind of resources, and because there is no information, or you don't have access to management for some interviews or meeting, or the other results here, that projects may pauses for, I don't know, many weeks. And here, before starting the projects, you will make everything ready for a successful implementation. Here, in challenge treatment, it helps you to treat all the challenges you find out here. So, in initiation step of initiation phase of first stage, you are making ready business to start these projects. The second part is business cognitions. You remember, if you know yourselves and your enemies, you will win hundreds of battles. So first things first, you need to know yourselves. Here, there are some forms to enter some information. For example, organization structures. What are the organizational units? What's the structure? What are the positions? And what's the steering team, if there is? Who are the interested parties? What are the business goals and objectives? Here, if you have not defined your business goals and objectives, helps you based on balanced scorecard definitions, and as you know, 4 major parts to define your goals, which goals are primary, which goals are secondary, and then objective definition based on for those goals. What's that goal? Who is responsible for implementing? What's the measurement index, index type, measurement method, period of measurement, current, ideal, due date, and progress. And if you enter all this information for your goals, here gives you your objectives in a smart way. So automatically it generates objectives if you have not developed your business goals or objectives. Business strategy. What's your business strategy? There are different business strategies like growth and acquisition, innovation, differentiation, cost leadership, and client and stability. And here we can define your business strategy, the information about the jobs, business problems, the products and services, training records of employees, the obligations, environmental analysis. It includes internal and external environment. For each of the goals, we have already defined what's the threat and what's the impact of that threat. Here for external environment, we have social, cultural, political, and for internal organizational structure, government structure, roles and responsibilities, and much more. And what could be helpful but not very necessary is you can here find out what's your investment category. If you have information about your industry and about your business, what are your security expenses, for example, for the hardware cost, for the software security costs, services, and the others. What's your revenue for implementing those solutions, direct financial, indirect financial, and total? Then, if you have information about your industry, for example, average security spending to revenue in the industry, average return on security investment for your industry and also for yourself, it can help you to find out in which level of investment you are, from frugal laggard to investment leader high. So you could be in one of these levels, and it could help you to have a good budgeting, or to define your objective, security objective, based on the your investment level. If you are not good in investing in cybersecurity here, for example, or here, you cannot expect to achieve the highest level of security objectives. And for each level, there is some recommendation what to do. The other part is asset inventory. In this folders, for each type of assets, you input the identification and the specification of those assets. The forms are different. For hardware, we have different. If I open this one, you know, based on the hardware, we have manufacturer, model, name, and the other information. But if it's human resource, of course, these items are meaningful, and we have something different like name, family, ID, department, positions, and whatever. So for any type of asset, there is specific forms to identify and for the inventory of those assets. Business process management helps you to find the relation between your business processes and security. If you remember, we defined the relation between business and security. Each business has some objectives. To achieve those objectives, they have some processes, and those processes need some assets to be able to run. So here is the list of processes. In process mapping, the process are mapped to goals, and also the process are mapped to products. If here we have the processes and here we have the goals, you can tick this process is mandatory to achieve this business goal, and this goal, and this goal, and for the others. And here, map for the process and products. For which product or service, which processes should be run. This one, and this one. After mapping processes to products and to goals, we document the processes according to BPMN model. What's the product name, process name? We have already listed, so you can choose from the list. What's the type of process? It could be main, supportive, or management. For example, supportive. What are the related goals? It automatically fetches from those mapping we already done. What's the process ID? What's the step description, and the others? Here, there is the kind of RACI model for this process, who is charged in design, implementation, maintenance, monitoring, management, and support, and what and which assets are involved in this process. Here are some kind of help, how to visualize them using Visio. And finally, you can have the diagram and the ID for each of your business assets. So far, you know yourself very well. You've got all information about your business assets, processes, and a structure, and all the other information required. Now, we are 100% prepared. So let's plan. The first one is project plan. The project plan only for the design, not to the end. For the design, we need to define the resources. As if you remember, preparing resources is one of the major responsibilities of management. So according to information we got here, who is aware of this, you can, and what are the containers of this information? You can plan for human resource. And here you can define also who you want to have interview with and what documents you need to look over. So in very exact and precise way, you can define your project plan for any interview, any meeting with anybody. So here you find out that you need to have a meeting with these guys, which is informed people, about, for example, the list of personnel or the others. So you can define all the meetings during the projects from day one to day end. So it's helps you to very clearly define your human resource management. Project tasks. Here you define the project tasks, WBS, PCWBS, RWBS task, and the structure of this project management, project timing, Gantt chart, deliverable, and also kickoff meeting and engagement. So everything for starting a project, successful project, I've seen here. So I doubt if any other model has come to this much detail for a successful implementation. Next step is to define security structure, including security organization, and security organization using a SPIA. SPIA is a very advanced model for the IT structure. Here you have all your positions you have already entered in previous phase. What are the security rules? Here are all possible security rules. What I have done, and it's very innovative in this model, one of the innovative things I have done, I have listed about 234 tasks. I believe if all these tasks are done in any business, most of security problems will be resolved. These tasks are from strategical to operational. So what you need to do based on management level is to define which task is related to who in your business. If you have anybody already involved, that is okay. If not, you can assign it to some box in your business organization structure, or you can define a new box, or you can outsource this to outside of your business. So you have three different options, but what's important that to find somebody custodian of these tasks. And here the role matching happens, and also for the cross-functional, one of the major, another major responsibility, if you remember, is was the collaboration and cross-functional in organization. So here you can fulfill all these responsibilities using this tool. The SPI, if you want to know, is like that. It has different categories for IT structures, such as strategy and culture, change and all this. And each of them has a subcategory. And here is the title for each subcategory, skill code, and competency level, and whatever. So using SPI, you can define your IT structure, or here information security structure very easily, which already done in the Skull toolkit. The other parts, these three parts, helps you to define. For example, your goals from implementation these projects is to implement ISO 27001, or you want to implement NIST 830, or you want to implement SOC 2, or HIPAA or GDPR, PCI DSS, whatever, you just name it. This framework is flexible enough to help you to implement any standard framework and maturity model. And it's flexible to add as much as you want. Scope definition is one of the important part. Environmental risks, stakeholders' requirements, and interfaces and interdependency are three indicators for defining security scope based on ISO 27001, the latest versions. So you need to define based on these items. You cannot define the scope, for example, these locations or these business units. You need to use these items for defining the scope. And the gap analysis for each standard, law, and framework and maturity model, you can assess your current status and the gap to the standard ideal. Most of these parts are in my native language because I developed this model in the Farsi, so maybe you see some parts that are not converted to English yet. But here, you based on each control, ISO 27001 control, there are some questions, totally more than 800 questions. And for each questions, you have different options, yes, no, or not applicable. And if you answer all these questions, it can calculate the gap between your current status and what is required by this model. Also for the others, for the frameworks, like for CIS or COBIT, or for the other maturity level like C2M2, ISM3, and CMM. And if you want to add, for example, GDPR or PCI DSS, we can easily add the questionnaires for those gap analysis here. So it has no limitation for covering any standard or any framework in information security world if you want. For asset evaluation, again, I have done a very innovative model. The other guys, when they want to evaluate the assets, security-wise, I mean, they ask the managers how important is that, and it's only qualitative, high, very high, low, medium, whatever. But it's from point of view of that manager. So maybe if you ask the other guy in that business, they have a very different opinion about that assets. So here I have developed a model to assess assets based on business point of view, not managers. How? First of all, it weighs the goals by AHP and measuring one by one, goal 1 to goal 2. For example, this is 2 times more important. So here it's 1 to 1/2. If it's I don't know, 1/4, so this one is 4 times important. And if you fill this form, it gives you a goal value for each of your goals. And then you can find out which business goals are most important for you. And then you can try to save and secure those assets and processes that are making major roles to achieve those important goals. So here you have weighted your goals. Then here, the relation between goals and the process you can define. We have already hello?
No, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to remind that we have another 15 minutes.
Okay.
To be aware of the time.
Okay. So here you can weigh give weight to your processes. And as you can see, it's quantitative and qualitative both, not in only level. And finally, you can evaluate assets based on their roles in processes and the value of that process to the goals and considering the value of the goals. So you evaluate assets based on their impact and the role they play for assessing and achieving these goals. I'm sorry. Okay, still we are in minus A stages. The other model starting from here, implement, which is PDCA. Here we have design and implement. In design, we have risk assessment, risk treatment, security strategies. All of them are in very detailed, very comprehensive and in quantitative and qualitative model. And if I want to talk about each one, it takes at least 20 minutes to go details. Using this model, you can define your security strategic plan. You can develop your policies, which is another responsibility of the managers. You can define training for each person individually. Suppose it's a big holding with 100,000 personnel. It defines the training calendar for each one separately, how it knows what's the role, what's the job of that person, what the task you should do. For doing those tasks, what training courses need to have. And it has also the training records it has already passed, so it can define very exact and detailed training calendar for each person individually. We have here in business continuity and disaster recovery plan, BIR recovery objectives, disaster recovery structures based on ISO 22301 and ISO 27031. And after that, we go to implement. Here in implement, we plan for implement, financial planning, technical planning, and project management planning. All the items from a standard project management planning is here. It helps you to define your projects. It helps you to rank your solutions based on different factors, and it helps you to budget and calculate ROSI. So, yes, we have short of time. We are in short of times, and I cannot go more details. After implementation is time to operate, operation management, including configuration setup, monitoring and logging, incident management, access management, and the others. And step 19 is to improve. If we achieve our goals, fine. How we can make sure we achieve goals? We go to audit. We have internal audit and also effectiveness assessment for each of your security solutions, how it has improved the risk level, how it has improved the security maturity, and how it would fill the gap. If you achieve your goals, perfect. Otherwise, we go to management review. We consider the corrective actions and the management review part. And finally, we implement the corrective actions. And this toolkit is with you 2 steps before starting and till make sure you have achieved the security goals you have been looking for. So it's with you from minus A to Z plus plus. Okay, thank you very much for your considerations, and I try to finish this one.
Thank you. Thank you. I think if you wanted to complete everything, we would need a couple of more seminars, and
at least 1 day workshop is required. Yeah, I have in mind a kind of 1 day workshop to have the example for imaginary business with different assets and whatever, and to go all these steps together.
Okay. So we'll work together. Hopefully we can come up with a plan for a longer session, maybe a half a day or 1 day workshop. But to see how you have put all of the concepts in a neat structure, and it's easy to follow the steps, and steps are clear, and it goes from like before you even start touching anything until after implemented everything, and everything is organized and everything is systematized and well structured. It's amazing. Thank you very much, Nader, for a great session here. I really loved it, and I'm sure I see that there are a couple of cybersecurity experts in the session, and I'm sure they also appreciate the amount of the work you have spent to organize everything. And I hope this makes a good start for collaboration between experts like you and the people who are in the field and the people who want to implement these systems for their clients. If it is possible, Nader, please add your contact information to the chat box, because some of the audiences wanted to contact you, wanted to talk to you. They would be able to do that. I received messages on my cell phone and also on the message board. If they can get in touch with you, if you have any contact information, you can share there. You're in Vancouver right now, I know. I can see, for example, Jahan is also from Vancouver. I guess you have already met. And we have Mohammed here from Montreal, and I see some of the friends from Toronto here. So I hope everybody has enjoyed the session. And we'll try to make other meetings, other hopefully more comprehensive workshops. We have more time, so we don't have to compress everything in a very, very short period of time. And we continue from there. We have another like maybe 5-10 minutes. If anybody has a question, you can open your mics. Please feel free to open your videos and ask if you have any questions, or type in the chat box. I'm going to stop the recording here, though.